section I wanted to cover today. Doesn't matter really what vehicle you got. Some of the newer stuff doesn't have the fittings, but on my truck I have a specifically unique ability to easily access your grease plugs. One on each end of the drive shaft if you don't have factory U-joints, or you're like me and you like to grease things. Those are a lifesaver. They make a setup that you drill a hole and tap it in, which is exactly what this one is. So you can add a grease fitting in places that it doesn't have one from the factory or whatever. On these trucks it's super simple to change the U-joint. It's about 15 to 20 bucks per joint. On my tie rod ends and stuff, they're all greasable fittings, so about once a month, maybe twice a month, I'll go through and grease everything up just like you would do on a semi. And as far as the grease goes, I just use the good old red and tacky style of grease. It's like $2.69 a tube, and it lasts anywhere from 2 to 5 greasings depending on how wild I get with it. This antique grease gun that my dad had, this thing was bought in the 70s and it still works fine. That's why I haven't bought a new one. I would like to have the style that has the hand pump, so I'm not having to try to arc this thing way up under the truck because it's so low now. But yeah, basically just go through and grease things. You'd be surprised how much smoother your vehicle drives with fresh grease and everything than it would without. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. Basically, to grease the vehicle, you just simply firmly push this over till you feel it just kind of click in place. Try to get it as straight as possible so that it won't spill grease to the sides, and then just actuate your cylinder. See what I'm saying about getting it straight? But a couple pumps and it's good to go. And then after you're finished, especially in my case where this is all open, after this is done, just take a rag and wipe the excess off so that you don't have it slinging all over the sides of your wheels and stuff, in case such as mine. Also an update, I removed the shocks today. They were pretty rough looking. They no longer work, so I had them disconnected from the top to start with, but still had them at the bottom when I had to remove those. Notice my zip tie here to keep all this stuff from moving over. Getting closer to getting things ready. Ran into some hiccups working on my C-notches today. For the record, don't use the Black & Decker brand 7-inch cutoff wheels for metal. They suck. I made 2 cuts. The blade was toast. Compared to the Forney brand that I showed in some other videos that I've been using, I can make 7 or 8 cuts with for almost $1 less on the wheel. That's where the money is. Just go with the Forney brand. Forget Black & Decker. But yeah, that's just a little quick video. I was wanting to show to, grease your stuff. Even if it's once a month, your ball joints will come out easier. You won't have ball joints wearing out so fast. Tie rod ends won't wear out so fast. Especially in the case of your drive shaft. Again, wipe the excess off of each of your joints so you don't have grease slinging everywhere. But just your vehicle will run so much smoother overall that you don't have all this friction from metal on metal, stuff like that. And that's one of the things I'm probably a grease Nazi about. Is just, I learned a long time ago, grease makes life a lot smoother.